the Ava V'Yira. What does this mean in relationship to above mentioned, that this is Ava Yira together? That Mishnayim Yachad, when you have love of Hashem and fear of Hashem, Bo'inyan Yelove Ishi Elai. So then comes the level of Yelove Ishi, Ukepashta Soinyan, the poor pasuk, Zeh Koyal Yankev Avino. Who is the husband? Leah's husband is Yankev. So my husband will become attached to me. Comes the Rebbe and says, and Al Pichsidus, it is also so. In the attributes, after Ava V'Yira, love and fear, comes Rachamim, which is the midah of Yankev, the attribute of Yankev. Shemidosehi, Amidah, Hakilelas, Beis Amidas, Ava V'Yira. It blends together love and fear. As we see by the nature of pity, that sometimes a person will have pity on someone, although he doesn't deserve it. Although he deserves kvura, he'll do chesed.
Ishi is Loshen Yochid, no?
Ishi is mine, my fire, my husband. Yeah.
So how do you get two fires from Ish?
Because in the Beis Hamikdash, but Pashtas, it all became one thing. The Eish, there's the Eish that is given Milmaila. In other words, like this: a person owns in himself two Eishes, two fires. The flame that he gets Milmaila, and the flame that he himself initiates. The Keanim lit a flame, and then there was an Eish, Yerim and Hashamayim. So therefore, it becomes one Metzias. In Lashon Rabbim, how would you say it? So these are the three inyanim. There's love of Hashem, fear of Hashem. One is visualizing godliness. One is hearing godliness. Then comes the one that becomes attached. Attached is the solid inyan. This is the inyan of mitzvahs. When a person does a mitzvah, fulfills a commandment, he becomes completely attached to godliness. And after that comes the ultimate state of nullification. Then comes Yehuda, that now I will thank Hashem, consent, stand in a state of nullification. The inyan haidah b'chinas habitl, it's the state of nullification. As we see by Yehuda, what happened after she gave birth to the fourth one? We had it in the previous MaMaar. Amida din, bitl, she stopped. But she stood. It doesn't say vatafsik. She until stopped. It says vatamed, because amida, the union of standing, shows on a state of nullification. This is higher than the three different formats mentioned earlier. Why? The three Avedas, services mentioned earlier, love of Hashem, is at Nuah. It's a certain direction, it's a certain movement, it's a certain stir that it actually is steering to become closer to Hashem. Yira is that a person is like stands in a state of humbleness, in a state of being shrunk from fear of Hashem. There's a certain Tnuah. Then comes the inyan of Levi, becomes attached. Is weiter the inyan of a Tnuah. He's doing a mitzvah, but mainly he's picking up the physical matter to godliness and bringing down godliness on the physical matter. Mashenkin Yehuda in Yonehu Bitl Betachlis. Yehuda is the level of nullification. When a person stands in a state of nullification, he's in the state of a daimim. A daimim is a silent matter, no movement, not an animal world, not a plant world that shows any sign of anything.
Inanimate.
Yeah, inanimate. It's completely right, like a stone, sand.
You're saying that bittul requires ava and yira and
there's brings to it.
First.
It brings. Okay, he doesn't say that this. He didn't say yet that it requires. But the word is, this is how a person reaches it. As a person connects to Hashem through our love of Hashem, below to above. Then comes yira, a shuv, from above to below. And then comes the blend together mitzvahs. But Mela, then he acknowledges the greatness of Hashem, and then he brings himself to a state of nullification. I mean, the Rebbe does not mention here that these are the three parshas of Krishma. It's very interesting. He does not mention it at all. And actually, the whole MaMaar of the Teireh is basically the three parshas of Krishma. The first portion is V'ahavtas Hashem Elokecha, fear of love of Hashem. Second parsha is fear, Hishamru Lachem Pen. Then comes Emes V'yatziv, this is Levi, the connection to Hashem. V'yatziv, V'nochem, V'kayim, the commitment. And Emes, this is the union of Levi, the union of Yankiv. And then comes Shemin Esrei, is Yehuda, the state of Bittul. The Rebbe does not put it into this framework at all. You don't even find a remes to it. The Rebbe is just talking about it as it is generally, every day, in general Aveda.
Mavur b'Torah or.
Good, fine, no, but he takes it out.
You learned it, so now we can go on.
No, yeah, right. He mentions Takatera Eira, but not within the framework of Krishma.
Malchus.
Var Malchus, Lamed Ches, it does Hatera Eira. Right, that one was from the room, Taka. In another place is Mashma. Sebit lo odam eina darga chinailas ba'aveda lahepach shu ascholos aveda v'seida aveda. The bittul of the person, which is Yehuda, the state of nullification, is not the beginning of the Aveda, not the end of the Aveda, not the ultimate Aveda, but it's the beginning of the Aveda. So the question is, how do we say that here Yehuda, the bittul, is the ultimate Aveda? Meila, the Rebbe continues, as it says there, the bebittul yesh beis darges. There are two dargas in bittul. The yeshnei inyan habittul shetzarech liyes bitchilas aveda lefnei shemaschilim avedas ava v'yirachula. There's two levels of bittul, two stages. One is before he starts with the love and fear of Hashem. So there's already a bittul there, a certain commitment. V'yeshnei habittul shebishleimas aveda abo acharei aveda. Then there's a bittul, the shleimas, the ultimate aveda, that comes after the aveda of ava. Leis pulchana ke pulchana d'rechimusa. There is no aveda service like the service done permeated with love. This is al derech like we mentioned earlier. Yud kei vav kei. The yud is yira, yira elah. The hey is ava rabbe. The vav is ava zuta, and the second hey is yira tata. So actually, there's a yira that comes before the ava. Then there's a yira that is the ultimate, which is the yud of yud kei vav kei. So when we go from below to above, we start with yira, fear, because that's the foundation, as the Alter Rebbe says in Perik MaMaar from Tanya, in the chapter 41. Then comes love on a lower level. Then comes love on a higher level, a higher shine of love, and affection to the Almighty. And then comes yira, fear, which is the ultimate state of nullification. Bittul.
But he's talking about bittul, not yira.
So there's Elber, aber that's doch good. Here is talking about the union of bittul. Aber me'eke einze, we see it in the union of yira. Va'aveda the yira, so B'meila he has the aveda of ave, va'aveda the yira b'shleimus, and then he also has the aveda of fear. Va'aveda the midah gimel b'shleimus, and also the aveda of Levi, which is the aveda of mitzvahs. The achar is b'shleimus aveda the Yehuda to yiduch achecha. The dafke then, after he has had all these three, then comes the ultimate and the complete aved of Yehuda Yiduch Achecha, to the extent that he can come to the state that his hands will be on the shoulders of his enemies, which means to what it expresses the extent to which a person reached in a spiritual level, how he is in charge over his evil inclination. Evecha means his evil inclination and also his physical enemies. Kimavura inyan badrushim, as it's mentioned in the Hasidic discourses. So this is basically the love of Hashem and fear of Hashem, and then comes connecting to Hashem, and then comes the level of bittul. V'nim inyan zeh derech hagav takad inyan of mitzvahs brings in a person an inyan of bittul. It's mentioned in MaMaar, when a person does a command, fulfills a commandment, so this brings in his neshama a certain bittul, a certain state of nullification to the Eibishter. In addition to the fact that he's committing his will to Hashem by doing something and fulfilling Hashem's will and desire. So in addition to that, it also accomplishes in the neshama a bittul to Hashem. As the Medrash says, that it said, the Medrash says in Parsha Lech Lecha, what is the difference to the Eibishter, how a person is going to shecht? From the throat or from the neck. So it says, Leinitnu ha-mitzvahs el-letzarev b'henes abriyas. The mitzvahs were given to refine the creation. So every mitzvah is actually doing a certain refinement, a spiritual enhancement, and somewhat of a bittul in the person.
So how does bittul relate to supremacy? It seems like the two opposites.
It doesn't go together. It says by a melech, there's the two tnuas together. On one hand, there's ein olav elo Hashem elikov, that a melech doesn't have to report anywhere besides Hashem. to the Almighty. Together with that, he himself stands in a level of bittul.